Hey guys, Mellow Modesty here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Son of the Gun, Volume 2, Saint, written by Alejandro Jodorowsky and drawn by George, I believe, Bess. Let's check. Yes, George Bess. And this is the second and final volume to Alejandro Jodorowsky's story about a modern gunslinger with a tail. And this story goes in a... this volume goes in a very different, it's very different than the first volume. First thing I'd like to say is that obviously you can, but I would definitely not recommend just reading volume 1. This, in my opinion, is sort of a shitty format. I think that they should be in one volume because the second volume picks up literally the next page is right after this. There is no time jump, no nothing. These really need to be read together. As for the story in Saint, it is on the same quality as the first one. I probably preferred the first one more. This is still definitely a character study on Juan Solo, and while the first volume was sort of his rise to power, this is sort of his fall from grace. And it's interesting. It's a much more surreal volume. Even though in the first volume Juan is like a rapist and a killer, he's a much more likable character in that volume than I think he is in this volume. In this volume, he's just sort of like a drunk, and he takes advantage of people, and he's just a loser. But that's part of the story, so the artwork is once again fantastic. Let's see. There's a good page. Not nearly as many gunfights, not nearly as much action. This volume, Juan's ghosts come back to haunt him. Literally, like they show up as white character sketches, and on the third or fourth page, there's a very big reveal that is really disturbing, and not really disturbing, but just sort of like, oh, what the fuck, dude. But the story in this is just really well done throughout the two volumes. Jodorowsky has just created such a good story. I could absolutely see this as a film sort of in the same vein as the Shay movie, where it took place in two segments, Shay Part 1 and Part 2, but they're really, like, as a 4-hour film, you know, split into two parts, but it's really only meant to be watched in one sitting. Yeah, this ties up all the loose ends in the first volume about how he turns out to be killed on the cross, and he's seen as this saintly lord, and all in all, it's just a pretty depressing but very good book. Not too much to talk about in this one without spoiling a lot of things. It's very good. That is really all I can say. Unlike the first book, which had no extras, this book does have a cover gallery. Unfortunately, the covers are already on the books. For the first one, you have the cover of book 1 and the back of book 1. And the back has the same thing. And then you get the back of book 2 and the front of book 2. And it's all in all a good book. Once again, I really want to stress that I do not think that it's worth $17.95 because it is super slender. Once again, only like 110 pages, and it's a paperback book, and the binding is not the best. I mean, it's no Vertigo book, don't get me wrong, it's not that shitty quality. The only upside is that it is a tad bit oversized. Just for example, here's Transmetropolitan, and it is a little bit oversized, and I guess it might be a little more because they had to pay the translator to translate this. But you can find both of these. At the time I'm reviewing this, you can find both volumes on Amazon.com for $5 each, which is a very good price. Even with shipping, it would be like $9, but I can definitely safely recommend these for less than $10. I just really wish that these would have been packaged together, like as one book in a hardback, oversized format, because the artwork is truly wonderful, and the story is amazing as well. It's just on the short side. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this review of Son of the Gun, Book 2, Saint, and if anyone's read this, please let me know, because I'm interested in what you guys think of this series. I really enjoyed it. It's pretty disturbing though, and I wouldn't recommend this to everyone, but I would recommend this if you're into artistic, more high-quality comic books. So, hope you enjoyed this review. See you later, guys.